Firefighters in North Wales are considering industrial action over proposed changes to cover across the region. 3 options have been put to a public vote with the aim to improve provisions in more rural areas. But with the consultation set to close this week, concern about the impact these changes could have on stations in more populated areas is growing. Ian Lang reports.
On the front line, we're used to seeing our firefighters answering the call when it comes, doing their best to protect lives and property. But in North Wales, the service itself is currently feeling the heat. It's all about money and resources, how they can be used fairly and to the best effect across the region. Top of the agenda is improving response times in rural areas. But what's causing increasing tension between the Fire Authority and the Fire Brigades Union is how to do this. In fact, it's threatening a breakdown in industrial relations.
Now, there are 3 proposals. The first would see no change to staffing levels, but there would be a £20 rise in the amount that taxpayers would have to pay towards the North Wales Fire Service. The second option is a smaller hike, but it would involve the loss of 22 firefighters. And the third option would involve the loss of 38 on-call fighters and 36 whole-time firefighters and the closure of 5 stations.
Rural areas would benefit. Stations at Corwen, Dolgellau and Porthmadog, currently staffed by on-call firefighters, would get full-time day cover. But it would involve changing the way other stations in more populated areas do their job. It's a big decision. That's why the Fire and Rescue Authority are giving the public a chance to have their say about what they want. But the Fire Brigades Union is adamant that with increasing demands, the service should simply be growing.
We don't want to see any downgrading of stations or any station closures or any job losses. And the way out of this is, as I've said, either a very small and modest increase in the amount that people pay for the fire service, or we can look at efficiencies within our own service. And we believe we've identified some key efficiencies and spending that can either be delayed or just taken off the table.
I think it's important to say that the Fire Brigades Union and the Fire Authority agree that we have to do something to increase fire cover in rural areas. What we need to find a consensus on is the best way to do that.
However unlikely it is that the Fire Authority would vote for any station closure, in Conway, the merest hint that their on-call station is under threat isn't being welcomed.
We need our fire station. As a collective, as a whole, as a community, we've got quite narrow streets in Conway. If we have a house fire, we've got the other appliances which are smaller than the fire engines that can get up and down those streets. If they're from away, I don't know what would happen. We need our fire station.
Such is the feeling amongst firefighters. The road to industrial action, short of strike action, has begun. If voted for, it would see the withdrawal of goodwill, but it would be a last resort. The union would prefer to talk things out.
We have now unanimously voted in acceptance of action short of strike because our members feel so strongly about this. We want to keep jobs.
On Saturday, the union are hoping the public will show their support at a protest rally in Wrexham. But it's clear there is an appetite for some sort of compromise, whatever that may be. Ian Lang, ITV News, Conwy.